From an island full of dolls to mummies, these locations are some of the creepiest places known to man. At number 10. Mummification of the deceased is a fairly well-known practice from ancient times. Most notably, the Egyptians utilized a mummification process that led to today's cliché image of a deceased body covered in gauzy wrappings. The discovery of mummified remains in several caves in the Philippines represents a different type of mummy, the fire mummy. Found in the caves in the town of Cagayan in the Benguet province of the Philippines, the fire mummies are human remains that were preserved through a lengthy dehydration and smoking process. These well-preserved remains have given researchers insight into a unique mummification process and into the tribal people who engaged in those methods. At number 9. The bird suicide phenomenon of Jatinga. Jatinga is a small village located in Assam, a state in northeastern India. This bird mystery is a unique phenomenon that occurs at Jatinga between September and November each year. During these late monsoon months, several migratory and local birds commit mass suicide at the village. Just after sunset, between 7 and 10 p.m., hundreds of birds descend from the sky, plummeting to their deaths by crashing into the buildings and trees. Since birds aren't known to be suicidal, the phenomenon has baffled villagers, visitors, and some scientists alike. For many years, locals believed that evil spirits living in the skies were responsible for bringing down the birds, but no one knows the actual cause. At number 8. The Monsell forts are armed towers built in the Thames and Mersey estuaries during the Second World War to help defend the United Kingdom. They were operated as Army and Navy forts and named after their designer Guy Monsell. The forts were decommissioned in the late 1950s and later used for other activities including pirate radio broadcasting. One of the forts is managed by the unrecognized Principality of Sealand. Boats visit the remaining forts occasionally, and a consortium called Project Red Sands is planning to conserve the fort situated at Red Sands. Number 7. These are the astonishing images of the very aptly named Door to Hell, a fiery crater caused by a drilling blunder that is baffling scientists after flaming away for more than 40 years. The 230 feet wide crater situated near Turway's village in Turkmenistan was named the Door to Hell by locals, referring to the endless flames and boiling mud that can be found inside. Originally a level surface, the site was identified by Soviet scientists in 1971 as an area that was believed to house a substantial oil field. At number 6. The Island of the Dolls. It is a small island located near Mexico City. It is home to hundreds of terrifying dolls. Their severed limbs, decapitated heads, and blank eyes adorn trees. Dolls are threatening even in the bright light of midday, but in the dark they are particularly disturbing. It is said that a girl was found drowned in mysterious circumstances many years ago on this island, and that the dolls are possessed by her spirit. Local legend says that the dolls moved their heads and arms and even opened their eyes. Some witnesses claim they had heard the dolls whispering to each other, while others who were on a boat near the island said the dolls lured them to come down to the island. It's sure creepy. At number 5. The Pripyat Amusement Park. It was an upcoming amusement park. It was to be opened on May 1, 1986. In time for the May Day celebrations, the decorations for the event was made, but the plans were interrupted when on April 26, the Chernobyl disaster occurred a few kilometers away. The park was opened for a couple of hours on April 27 to keep the city people entertained before the announcement to evacuate the city was made. Today, the park and in particular the Ferris wheel are a symbol of the Chernobyl disaster. The amusement park itself is located behind the Palace of Culture in the center of the city. At number 4. The Hellingly Asylum. The name has a hell in it to make you feel scary about the place. The asylum is on top of a hill overlooking the East Sussex countryside, and reminds visitors of a grand psychiatric hospital that stood there once. The asylum was built by G.T. Hine, who was one of the most esteemed asylum architects of his time, and opened its doors in 1903. The building epitomized splendid isolation philosophy, which was evident in its design. It boasted of its own tram and railway. At number 3, the Catacombs of Paris. Paris, the capital of France, is often called the City of Light. However, beneath this bustling European city of 12 million people lies a dark subterranean world holding the remains of 6 million of its former inhabitants. These are the Paris Catacombs, a network of old caves, quarries, and tunnels stretching hundreds of miles and seemingly lined with the bones of the dead. By the 18th century, Parisian cemeteries such as Les Innocents, the largest cemetery in Paris, were becoming overpopulated, giving rise to improper burials, open graves, and unearthed corpses. Quite naturally, people living close to such places began complaining about the strong stench of decomposing flesh and the spread of diseases from the cemeteries. When an unusually long period of spring rain caused a wall around the Les Innocents to collapse, resulting in the spilling of rotting corpses into a neighboring property. By this time, the French authorities were forced to take action. Over the following decades, the bones of the dead were removed from the cemeteries around Paris for reburial in the catacombs. Furthermore, the practice of burying the newly dead directly into the catacombs began after the French Revolution. At number 2, the Sanzhi UFO houses. The UFO houses were constructed beginning in 1978. They were intended as a vacation resort in a part of the northern coast adjacent to Tamsui and were marketed towards US military officers coming from their East Asian postings. However, the project was abandoned in 1980 due to investment losses and several car accident deaths and suicides during construction, which is said to have been caused by the unfortuitous act of bisecting the Chinese dragon sculpture located near the resort gates for widening the road to the buildings. Other stories indicated that the site was a former burial ground for Dutch soldiers. At number 1, the Overtown Bridge. Located near the village of Milton in the borough of Dumbarton, Scotland, exists a bridge that for some reason or another has been attracting suicidal dogs since the early 60s. Even more strange are the circumstances behind these incidents of kamikaze canines. Not only have they been plummeting to their deaths from the bridge, but many have witnessed the dogs actually climbing the parapet wall before making the jump. Even stranger are the reports of dogs surviving their brush of death only to return to the bridge for a second attempt. Please like and subscribe for more interesting and amazing videos. Thanks for watching.